Okay, so we are on our way to Wilmington right now to pick up a bed for Alessandra. A lady from a program that we just started Alessandra in told us about this lady who has a sleep safe bed for to donate, and they are moving Thursday, so they said if we could come pick it up we could have it. So normally these beds are super expensive, and the only way we could normally get this bed would be through going through a long process with our insurance company and stuff, so this is really cool.
It's a bit complicated, so I gotta grab some tools. That's my father-in-law's truck. We're borrowing it because we only have minivans to carry stuff in, so we needed something a bit bigger to put that in. There it is. New bed. They didn't just throw it out on the cob. We just went in and took it apart, and then we put it out on the cob, so they weren't not taking care of this stuff. But look at this. It's pretty sweet. So now we gotta get it in the truck.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
Hold it. Pieces.
Pull it.
And hold that taut. That is why we need a new gorilla pod. I don't think it's going anywhere. What do you think?
I hope it's going somewhere.
Very funny.
Alright, so those people were really nice. They are trying to move out, and so they just gave us this bed. It's a lot like a hospital bed. The head can be raised, the feet can be raised, so it can be pretty comfortable. It has sides. It's a nice wooden frame. I'm very cold right now. It took a lot longer than we thought. It was a lot more complicated than Jim thought to get it taken apart. So we had to use his drills and stuff. But now we're on our way to the creek after we get coffee.
Sorry for the lack of travel shots, but Lauren and I got talking, and after we got our coffee, so we're just gonna go ahead and get this truck unloaded, lights going. It seems to be a thing for us that we're constantly losing light, so let's go. Okay, so vlog shots are taking too long. We're just gonna set up the bed, maybe do it as a time lapse. So there it is, all set up. That wasn't fun. Like, that seriously was not fun to put together. Was it?
No.
So now it's a lot later. Whew, a lot later than we planned on being out, because it took a lot longer for the people to get there than we thought, and then we had to come here, and it took us a while to set it up. So we gotta get home.
It looks like a really nice bed. It's kind of like a big crib.
And
It's It's got all the
It's got
functions of a hospital bed. Whoa, that really raises it up high.
So, there you go. So now we're gonna go ahead and go home.
So that sleep safe bed looks like it's gonna work really well eventually, but we did not have room in our bedroom for it yet. But it got us thinking about all the different things that we've tried to give Alessandra a good, comfortable night's sleep. Since she can't see or hear, she relies mostly, I think, on feel for her comfort, and she really likes to be held. She likes to be cradled and feel, like she's being held in a secure position. Thinking back, even in the ICN, they had one of those little like saucer shaped beds that vibrated for really little infants, and I always felt better about leaving her to go eat lunch or whatever if she was in there. If you have a special needs child and you're maybe looking for other options that might help them more than just the pack and play or something that works really well for your other kids, like that's pretty much what our kids were in for a long time. We actually tried the pack and play for one night, the first night that we came home, and I didn't get any sleep. So I don't think she did either. So right after that, we used one of those little rocking beds. It's foldable and it rocks, but it's like a little cradle for pretty small babies. But that was also when she was having a lot of digestive problems, so she was in pain a lot of the time, and it took something very significant, I think, to help comfort her. So we were staying with my sister at the time, and they had a swing. So I'd put the swing on the highest setting and put it, in sort of a recline position and swing her, and that was really the only thing that comforted her. And of course, you're up all through the night, and I was pregnant with our second child, so we were both up for a lot of the night and taking naps during the day and stuff. I think the next thing that we tried was a little bed. It's a cradle for an infant, but it converts into a toddler seat. So they're pretty common. You can find them at Walmart and thrift stores and stuff like that. But it also, most of them I think have a vibration aspect. So if you turn that on, it'll go for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something, and then it just shuts off automatically. So then I got to where, and also another thing is all these things have the harness or seatbelt or something, so that I felt, more secure with her being in there. And so we would put her in there, and it was also kind of like a recliner position. And so if she woke up in the night and I heard her crying, and she was always right beside me in bed, like she was right beside the bed in her little cradle. And so if she'd wake up during the night, I'd just turn on the vibration, maybe give her passy again, and she'd go back to sleep. So she eventually grew out of that as well, and we're like, oh my goodness, what do we do? There's no cradle. There's nothing that, provides that support for her entire body. So we actually decided to make her a hammock, as you see in the background. We made her a hammock, and that we can see through the mesh. The mesh on both sides allows her to breathe if she was to roll over, which she never really does. But the main thing was that it allowed me to see her at a glance, no matter if the hammock had turned, because you can see the hammock when it's attached to the ceiling, when it's hooked up, it can turn all the way around. So I could actually turn her and see her. I think it really gives that feeling of being held, being supported on all sides. And so it worked really well for her, and we were able to build it to make it for her, like we measured her, then we measured and made sure that we were making it big enough so that it would last for a while. And we made kind of like a futon type mattress. It's just like a thick quilt to go inside. That is what she laid on to give a little bit more firm support other than just the one layer of material in the bottom. And at different times we've done some different things. Sometimes we'll put a pillow like under the mattress to give her more of a reclined position and that kind of thing. But eventually, with her respiratory problems, we just found that, her oxygen saturation was a lot better if she was more sitting up and having, with her neck, with her chin farther extended up. And the hammock kind of gets her in this position. So it's not as good for her respiratory problems that she's dealt more with lately. So we decided that wasn't really working quite as well. So like we would bring her home from the hospital, and for a few weeks we would just keep her. We would do something else. And so right now what we're actually doing is just having her sleep in her stroller seat. Maybe you saw that in the stroller review video. But because of the 3 reclined positions on that, we can put her all the way laid back, which her head is still higher than her bottom, in the all the way laid back position, or in the reclined position, to make sure that her airway stays open better. We started thinking about some other options, like what can we do when she grows out of this, because it could happen pretty soon. And we had heard that to get that special kind of bed, the sleep safe bed that we just got, it could take like 6 months and a lot of hassle and going through a lot of stuff to try to get one. Even with having the 2 other babies and having the baby coming in May, we want her to still be in the room, even if that means there's 2 kids in the room. Right now, that's why we don't have a sleep safe bed here in our bedroom, because it won't fit right now. We did make the hammock. It's pretty simple, and actually there are tutorials online. That's what I looked up. I looked up tutorials on how to make the hammock, and of course I had my own ideas of what I thought it should be like, so of course I tweaked it to have like the mesh and that kind of thing. And then Job built the wooden crossbar. It's been really cool and really fun. But yeah, you could try that. You could even make one a lot bigger probably than the one we made if you think it'll still work. We'll see what we can do in the future, but that's what we're doing right now.